We startled at the hammering on the door. The wind off Powderhorn Mountain makes such a blowing as oftentimes sounds like a wild beast prowling round our little cabin all winter. But Pa opened the door. In blew much snow and a great howling, such as a congregation of wolves might make. But it was only the wind accompanying a big Chippewa in moccasins. He had someone slung over his back. He laid him down and nodded to Pa, as if to say, "And this be one of your folks. I leave him here." He only said, "Wendigo." Then he was gone. Ma blew on the coals, and I brought dry towels. Our guest was young, and I dare say handsome, but thin as a starveling, with skin pulled tight over his bones, such that I couldn't rightly say his age. And he shook mightily as he clutched the blankets. "I'm in your debt," he said, through clattering teeth. He stared at me like a famished man looks on bacon, and I confess I deemed him handsome enough. Pa saw our looks and didn't like it none. "It's a cruel mountain," Pa said, "to be walking in winter." "My party was snowed in," our guest replied. "No food, no hope." I said, "We must find them before they freeze." Pa nodded and left the cabin. I stayed with our guest, holding his ice-cold hands. The man who rescued me said, "What was that word he spoke?" "Wendigo is just a heathen notion," I replied. "'Tis a cannibal ghost that haunts the mountain, they say." He repeated the word cannibal. Despite the warm fire, his flesh was gray. He groaned like a soul in torment and said, "I have done questionable things." "You did what you had to survive." "I hungered," he whispered, baring his long teeth, "and I did eat." His eyes shone with a savage appetite. "What occurs on the mountain," I told him, "will not leave the mountain." The door banged open and Pa returned. He carried a joint of freshly butchered meat. He slammed it down on the table. "Cold," he said, "but not yet frozen." Ma brought out the knives. Pa carved the raw flesh. "Pale and succulent," Pa commanded our stricken guest. I squeezed the young man's fingers to reassure him. "You're Wendigo now," I said. "Like us." If you enjoyed Wendigo, read more daily ghost stories, and please remember to like and subscribe.